Hello everyone, welcome back to this online class. Today I want us to look at how to find the asymptotes of the function y squared is equals to x raised to 4 divided by x squared minus 4. Remember, we have three types of asymptotes. The first one is vertical asymptotes. In vertical asymptotes, we said equate denominator to 0. So what you do, we write x squared minus 4 is equals to 0. So this means x squared is equals to 4. And so when you take the square root on both sides, you get the square root of x squared is equals to the square root of 4. Or we can write this as x is equals to plus or minus 2. So the vertical asymptotes are two of them. X is negative 2 and x is positive 2. Another one is horizontal asymptote. Now, to get the horizontal asymptotes, we need to find the limit as x tends to infinity. Remember, this is f of x. Y squared is equals to f of x. Let me rewrite it here. This means y squared is equals to f of x. So take limit as x approaches infinity. So we call it horizontal, we call it y is equals to limit as x approaches infinity of x raised to 4 everything over x squared minus 4. But you see, when you divide both numerator and denominator by x raised to 4, we are going to get the limit as x approaches infinity of x squared everything over 1 minus 4 over x squared. Remember how to evaluate limits at infinity. So direct substitution, we are going to get infinity, because I told you when you have a big number and you square it, you still get a big number. So over 1 minus 4 over infinity is the same as infinity over 1 minus 0. Infinity over 1 is the same as infinity. So that means the limit does not exist. That's what it means. Limit, you can say therefore, the limit doesn't exist. Hence, there is no horizontal asymptote. No horizontal asymptote. The last one is slant asymptote, or what we call the oblique slant or oblique asymptote. So what happens? You need to rewrite f of x using long division process. So remember, f of x can be written as, by long division, we'll have x squared minus 4. That should divide x raised to 4. So what do you multiply by x squared to get x raised to 4? That will give us x squared. When I multiply x squared times x squared, I'm going to get x raised to 4. X squared times 4, that is 4x squared. If I subtract, I'm going to get 4x squared. So therefore, x raised to 4 over x squared minus 4 can be written as x squared plus 4x squared over x squared minus 4. You see, that is y squared. But we need to find what is y. If y squared is that, then what is y? So this means that this part here will give you the slant asymptote. This corresponds to y squared, not y now. Take note. That corresponds to y squared. So we are saying that y squared is equals to x squared. So what is y? From here, it means y is equals to plus or minus x. Y is equals to plus x. Another one, y is equals to negative x. Another method of getting the slant asymptote, this I can call it method 2. Let me write method 2 on finding the slant asymptote. Method 1 was this, or the one that I've discussed. So under method 2, that given function can be written as y squared times x squared minus 4 is equals to x raised to 4. Remember that a slant asymptote as the general equation is that y is equals to mx plus c. That is the general equation for a slant asymptote. So I'm going to substitute this in our given function. Where there is y, we put mx plus c. So what will this equation now give us if we make those substitution? So this is what you're going to get. It will give us mx plus c, this is squared, 10 times x squared minus 4 is equals to x raised to 4. And if I expand it, I'm going to get m squared x squared plus 2mc times x plus c squared times x squared minus 4 is equals to x raised to 4. Or let me open the bracket completely. Let's start by multiplying by x squared. So I'm going to get m squared x raised to 4 plus 2mcx cubed plus c squared x squared. Then minus 4m squared x squared minus 8mcx minus 4c squared is equals to x raised to 4. If I rewrite this, let me collect like terms. I'll be having m squared minus 1, that's the coefficient of x raised to 4. Remember, there's another x raised to 4, so you take this to the left-hand side, so it becomes minus x raised to 4. And then combine with the m squared x raised to 4, so you get m squared minus 1 x raised to 4. Coefficients of x cubed, I can only see this 1x cubed, so plus 2mc x cubed. Coefficients of x squared plus c squared minus 4m squared x squared. Coefficients of x only, you can see this 8mc x minus 4c squared is equals to 0. So that's the same equation. I have collected the like terms so that we start with the highest power of x, go to the second highest power of x in that order. So that equation becomes whatever we've written there. Now, for you to get the value of m and c, we are going to consider the first two terms. The first two terms on the left-hand side, or simply the coefficients of the highest power of x and the second highest power of x. those will give you the values of m and c. So coefficient of x raised to 4, coefficient of x raised to 4. This tells us that m squared minus 1 is equals to 0. I'm equating the corresponding coefficient on the left and on the right. And on the right we have 0x raised to 4 plus 0x cubed plus 0. So from here, when you solve it, you're going to get m squared is equals to 1. Get the square root, you get m is equals to plus or minus 1. Let's also look at the coefficients of x raised to 3. We have 2mc is equals to 0. So, but I know m to be plus or minus 1. So 2 plus or minus 1 times c is equals to 0. Make c the subject, you get c is equals to 0. So therefore, we said y is equals to mx plus c. So when I substitute the value of m and c, I am going to get y is equals to plus or minus 1 times x plus c, which is 0, which can also be written as y is equals to plus or minus x. So method 2 seems to be very long, but we get the same answer, the same as what we got in method 1. So those are the asymptotes for the given function. Remember, this function is implicit, and this is how you need to find the asymptotes, especially when it comes to the slant asymptotes. Take note of what we have done. Instead of saying y is equals to x squared, we have said y squared is equals to x squared. So thank you all for watching. When we meet next, we'll look at other problems on curve sketching, which seems to be tricky to maybe some of us. Thank you all. Bye-bye.